Hi students, welcome to 12th standard. In the 12th standard, many chapters are there, many new chapters are involved, that is reproduction, genetics and evolution, biology and human welfare, biotechnology and ecology. In these all chapters again subunits are there that all we will study in the 12th standard. Let us start with the terminology of the 12th standard, which is based on initial few chapters. As you can see this image, this is the first image. From this image I am going to explain you few terms. Number 1, that is PMC, pollen mother cell. Number 2, MMC, megaspore mother cell. Number 3, PEN, primary endosperm nucleus. Next, PEC, primary endosperm cell. These all terms I will explain you with the help of this diagram. Children, first of all we should understand this is the female gametophyte. This is the number 1 image of the diagram, that is female gametophyte. Inside the female gametophyte, this is the previous cell where 2 small cells are present. In these 2 cells, meiosis takes place, 4 cells are formed, and in these 4 cells again meiosis takes place, then 8 cells are formed. Number 3 diagram, in this you can see how cells are going to arrange inside the ovule. Number 4 diagram, it is the entire structure of the ovule, which is showing the internal structure. Now here total 8 cells are there, as you can see in this diagram. Upper end of the ovule, that is known as the chalazal end. The cells which are present over there, they are known as the antipodal cells. Downside, that end is known as the micropylar end. There also 4 cells are present, right? Now these antipodal cells, these are needed for the nourishment of the embryo sac, this internal part. Near to the micropylar end, synergid cells are present. These synergid cells are needed for the nourishment of the egg cell, which is present above the synergids. At the time of division, out of these 4 cells, 1 cell come down, and from down also 1 cell goes up. These together forms central cell. From above 1 cell comes down, and from down 1 cell goes up. Their nuclei fuses with each other and they form the polar nuclei. Now let us start with the first term, that is the pollen mother cell. Pollen mother cell means here we are talking about the male gametophyte, and it has the 2 cells, that is the vegetative cell and sperm cell. Vegetative cell will form the pollen tube, and pollen tube takes sperm cells to the ovule. This entire explanation I will give you in the forthcoming chapters. Number 2 term, that is MMC, megaspore mother cell. It's a diploid cell, and in this cell meiosis takes place. This first image here, meiosis takes place, and after meiosis formation of the 4 cell, 4 converts to 8 and 8 converts to 16 and so on. Next, PEN, primary endosperm nucleus. Now here you understand what is there. As I have told you, from chalazal end 1 cell comes down, and from micropylar end 1 cell goes up. Their nuclei fuses, they fuses with each other and they form the polar nuclei, and they form primary endosperm nucleus. Next, PEC, primary endosperm cell. As I have discussed you, male gamete fuses with the egg. This is egg cell which is present above the synergids. and it forms the zygote, and it is known as the triple fusion. These all things will again repeat in the first chapter. Let us start with the next terminology, that is GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone. This is the hormone which is released by the gonads, that is male and female gametophyte. Male gametophyte, that is sperm, and female gametophyte, that is ova. Next, FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. This is the hormone which is released by the ova, by the female gametophyte. Next, RCH, reproductive and health care. This is the term is used to take care of the child when child takes birth. Next, MMR, maternal mortality rate. At the time of the birth, if mother dies, that term is known as the maternal mortality rate. Next, IMR, infant mortality rate. Infant means small baby. When it is taking the birth, that time he or she is known as the infant. So if it dies, that is known as the infant mortality rate. This report is given by the pediatrician. Next, HIV, human immunodeficiency virus. Now this is the term is used for the HIV virus, which is well known to us. I'll let you know the meaning of this. Means when this virus enters inside our body, that time our immune system deficient in the work, and that is why it is known as the human immunodeficiency virus. Next, SNPs, single nucleotide polymorphism. In the structure of the DNA, many nucleotides are there. These nucleotides, adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine, uracil, etc. And if there is the difference in this sequence, that is known as the single nucleotide polymorphism. Next, VNTR, variable number of tandem repeats. Now this is the location of the genome. Genome is the piece of the gene where again and again repeat of the characteristic is there, but at the different places of the DNA. That is known as the variable number of tandem repeats. Next, PMNL, polymorphonuclear leukocytes. It is the type of WBC that has the granules with enzyme and which is released during the infections. Means whenever infection takes place inside our body, like allergy, you can say example asthma. Next, CMI, cell mediated immunity. Now in this, it is the immune response which does not involve any antibody, but at this time activation of the phagocytes will be there. Phagocytes are the cells of WBC which are in the form of the amoeboid nature, so they are known as the phagocytes. Next, ELISA, Enzyme-Linked Immunosorbent Assay. This is the test which is done to diagnose the AIDS in the human body. Next, NACO, National AIDS Control Organization. This organization controls all the AIDS problems. Next, MRI, magnetic resonance imaging. These are the tests through the magnetic field. These tests are being done through the machines. Next, CT scanning, computed tomography. This is a three-dimensional image and it is a cross section through the human body. It can be done by the X-ray or ultrasound. Next, SCP, single cell protein. Next, LAB, lactic acid bacteria. This is the bacteria which is present in the milk or the milk products. Next term, BOD, biological oxygen demand. Now it is the amount of the dissolved oxygen needed by the aerobic biological organism to break down into the organic material at a given period of the time. Next term, that is IARI, Indian Agriculture Research Institute. This institute guides us for the agricultural methodology. Next, KVIC, Khadi and Village Industries Commission. This commission is established by the village panchayats, and that is what it is known as the Khadi and the Village Industries. Next, EFB, European Federation of the Biotechnology. Nowadays, biotechnology not only used in the India but other countries also. So here we are talking about the European countries. Next, RE, restriction enzyme. At the time of the DNA formation, if changes of characters are there, they are done with the help of the restriction enzyme. This we will study in the forthcoming chapters. GMO, genetically modified organism. If we want to change the organism from one characteristic to another manually or through machines, this is known as the genetically modified organism. And best example, that is Bacillus thuringiensis. Next, ADA, Adenosine Deaminase Deficiency. This is the deficiency which takes place inside our body through the deficiency of the protein. Next, cDNA, complementary DNA. It's the genetic complementary DNA, which is the synthesized form of the single RNA, and it is done with the help of enzyme transcriptase. Next, GEAC, Genetic Engineering Approval Committee. Now in this committee decides genetic engineering method, modern biotechnologies method. They are approved by this committee. Next, CPCB, Central Pollution Control Board. This board tells us about the pollution which is present in the surrounding or the atmosphere. Next terminology, that is CFC, chlorofluorocarbon. Last, that is JFM, Joint Forest Management. This all terminology I am sending you through PDF in the class group. Thank you.